Alrighty. So you might have noticed we got a little bit of a different setup going around here. Decided to lean into the full self-improvement, no distractions, just me talking straight up to the camera. If you want something a little less daunting than this, of just 5, 6, 7 minutes of me just talking right at you, I actually did just set up a new Instagram and TikTok account for short form content. It's called @GrowWithRaf. It's the same username as the YouTube channel actually, so if you want something a little bit more engaging, a little bit more fun, feel free to check those out. They are a condensed version of these episodes. But if you want something more daunting and you're up for a challenge, stick around because today we've got a very polarizing episode that a lot of people have a love or hate relationship with, for this topic at least. Because today we're talking about goal setting. And I know what some of you are thinking, it's all in your head, it's all a fairy tale, it doesn't really have to do with anything. But I'm going to tell you why you're wrong today, so just stick around, listen up. I'm sure if you're watching this kind of content, you've read a lot of self-help, financial literacy, all those kind of books. And if you've been in that space for a while, you've definitely heard of Napoleon Hill, the author of Think and Grow Rich. This guy has interviewed the greatest of the greatest entrepreneurs in history. People like Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, all those kind of guys. And every single one of those interviews always end with them talking about goal setting. And I don't see that as much of a coincidence, to be honest with you. When it's like trying to go to LeBron James, Steph Curry, and Michael Jordan for basketball advice and then just disregarding whatever they say to you. It's like, okay, congrats, you know more than those guys. Okay. I'll trust LeBron James, thanks so much. They all talk about goal setting, not just because you have to think about something and then it just magically happens, but because goal setting does a very special thing to your brain. So all these guys preach the exact same thing. And Think and Grow Rich literally does exactly what the title would say it does. Think and you grow rich. And it's not just hoping for $1 million and it just falling in your lap, but it's more so the manifestation and what constantly thinking about growing rich does to your brain. So every morning when you wake up, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Is it your wife or husband, boyfriend or girlfriend, your family, your dog, the amount of tasks that you have to finish that day? No matter what, when you wake up, there's always that first thought that comes to your mind. And when you go to bed, it's likely that you're thinking about the same thing. But what all these guys preach is that you have to develop an obsession with your goals, and that those goals have to be the last thing you think of when you go to bed and the first thing you think of when you wake up. Every single one of these guys does the exact same thing. Because when you develop an obsession for your goals, you'll start to believe that they've already come true. And that'll play around with your brain chemistry, and once you already believe that you've achieved whatever you want to achieve, you're going to start acting different, you're going to start making better decisions that you would have made as if you already achieved those goals. Because the difference between someone who's obsessed and someone who just kind of wants something is night and day. And the person who's obsessed is always going to be outworking the person who just kind of wants it. Obsession always beats talent. It's one of my favorite lines ever from a movie. I'm pretty sure it was from the movie Hustle, the basketball movie with Adam Sandler. A lot of basketball references today. Whatever. That means I'm obsessed with basketball. It's always top of mind. So anyways, obsession is always going to beat talent, no matter what, because you want it so much more. You're going to have this burning passion inside of you to achieve and attain your goals. So what all these guys preach is the same thing. Like I said, first thing you think of when you wake up, last thing you think of at night. But how do they do that? How do they train their minds to do so? Well, you have to put in a little work first. And here are the steps I'm going to give you guys that every single book talks about. Whether that be David Goggins writing his goals down on the mirror in front of him so he always sees them, or what Napoleon Hill recommends, which I'm about to talk about right now. First thing you have to do is think of a goal. Because goal setting without a goal is kind of just setting. It's not really a thing. So first, think of your goal. What do you want to achieve? Second, think about a timeline. How long do you want to achieve this goal in? And there's no correct answer for this. It could be 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, 5 years. Whatever you want to do and whatever timeline you want to achieve it in. Be realistic, but also be ambitious. Because Yeah, you can say you want to make $1 million in 10 days, but like, is that really going to happen? But don't discredit yourself by saying that you can't make $1 million in a year. Be ambitious. Go for it. No goal is too ambitious. Nothing is too crazy. If you really believe 100% in your mind that you can do it, then you can 100% do it. The sky's the limit. So write down the goal, write down the timeline, and then write down 3 steps necessary to achieve that goal. 3 steps. And if you don't know exactly what it is, look into it a little bit. If it's monetary, research what steps that you need to do to make that kind of money. If it's education-wise, you know that you have to put your studies in order. You have to dedicate more time to your studies. If it's you want to develop a better relationship with somebody in your life, you know that you're going to have to put the time in to develop that better relationship. You're going to have to set some part of your day aside for that person. Whatever it is. Goal, timeline, 3 steps. And here's the daunting part that for some reason most people don't do, even though it's the most important step. I can't stress this enough. Keep that piece of paper that you wrote everything down by your bedside and read it out loud every single morning when you wake up and every single night when you go to sleep. By doing so, it'll go into your subconscious. You'll think about it first thing in the morning, and then you go to sleep thinking about it. Last thing you think of at night. It'll be in your subconscious, and that'll develop that obsession, that burning fire inside of you to achieve that goal. When you have that obsession, you'll start naturally making decisions that are going to push you in that direction to achieve your goal. So goal setting isn't just hoping that something is going to happen. It's literally a mental change that's going to make you obsessed and push you in that direction, no matter what it is. It's in your subconscious. It's literally a part of you at that point. The more you want something, the more obsessed you'll be with it, and the more decisions you'll make that'll correctly influence you. That's all there is to it. Obsession, goals, motivation, discipline, hard work, they all come together, and they'll all eventually lead to that goal you wrote down. And you'll see that once you start doing this, once you implement this, you'll achieve it faster than you thought possible because you're obsessed with it. It's crazy how these things work. So like I said, there's a reason that all these greats preach the same thing. They want you to achieve the goal. I want you to achieve the goal. Like Iman Gadzhi always says, I haven't watched his videos in a while, but like he would always say in his videos, I'm watching from afar and I'm rooting for you. Because I want you to achieve your goals. And I hope that you want me to achieve mine, because I've got some really big ones too. Together, we're all going to make them happen. I promise you that. Work hard, write them down, read them every morning, read them every night, and I promise you, you will get there. That's all there is to it. See you in the next video. Take care, guys.